why hide your skin if you can help heal your skin from within?
Hide my skin? Not me.
Dupixent helps keep you one step ahead of eczema with clearer skin and less itch. Don't use if you're allergic to Dupixent. Serious allergic reactions can occur that can be severe. Tell your doctor about new or worsening eye problems such as eye pain or vision changes, including blurred vision, joint aches and pain, or a parasitic infection. Don't change or stop asthma medicines without talking to your doctor. Ask your doctor about Dupixent.
Tomorrow on ET, we're with Gabrielle Union and Zach Braff at the Hollywood premiere of Cheaper by the Dozen.
Then from a dozen to a family of 16. Our exclusive at home with TLC reality stars, the Doricos.
Welcome entertainment tonight.
Yes, I love them so much. Yeah, okay, we leave you tonight with Lisa Kudrow. Is she down for another Romeo and Michelle high school reunion? Our Matt Cohen found out.
Take care, everybody.
Can you make a sequel for me?
Happening now.
We're learning more about a head-on collision in West Texas that left several college students dead. Sadly, there is a local connection.
Being a teacher has always been a tough but rewarding profession. Why then are more of them quitting? Coming up here, what some retired teachers think about that.
Some big temperature swings to talk about, at least from the mornings to the afternoons. We'll get into that and our next chance of storms. Tell you when that is in just a bit. The News at 5 starts right now.
And we're going to begin with breaking news. Firefighters evaluating 2 people for smoke inhalation after a 2-alarm fire at an apartment complex. This one's on Pecan Valley Drive near East South Cross on the city's southeast side. Firefighters say they were able to put out the flames within 15 minutes. 2 dogs were rescued, but firefighters on the scene say 6 units on the second floor of that complex were basically, they're going to be unlivable. The cause of that fire under investigation at this hour.
And now an update on a developing and sad story out of West Texas. We now know that one of the 9 people who were killed in a van carrying college golf teams from New Mexico is a Pleasanton High School graduate.
Tab Dumont is the athletic director of Pleasanton ISD. He confirms that Travis Garcia is the student that died in that crash. He was a member of the men's golf team at the University of the Southwest. That's in New Mexico. In a statement, Dumont says in part, quote, "The whole Pleasanton ISD community is in shock and grieving for the entire family. Not only was Travis a phenomenal golfer and great kid, Travis was doing great things in college and in life," end quote. According to the Texas Department of Public Safety, a pickup truck crossed the center of a 2-lane road in Andrews County, crashed into that van. 6 students, the head golf coach, the driver, and passenger in the truck were killed. 2 students were at last check in critical condition at a hospital in Lubbock. The team's taking part in a golf tournament at Midland College. The National Transportation Board investigating, but they say that investigation could take 18 to 24 months. An update now on that shooting death of 28-year-old Kevin Johnson. The San Antonio Police Department telling us its shooting team and the Internal Affairs Unit will conduct separate but concurrent investigations. Their findings will be forwarded to the Bexar County District Attorney's Office for an independent review. San Antonio Police releasing the names of the 3 officers who fatally shot Johnson on Monday afternoon. They are James Quintanilla, a 13-year veteran of the department, Adam Rule, who's been with SAPD for 6 years, and 4-year SAPD veteran Gus Vias. All 3 on administrative duty tonight. Johnson shot after he reportedly ran from those officers and pulled a gun while they were trying to arrest him on an outstanding felony warrant. We've requested the body cam footage. SAPD's policy allows 60 days before it must be released, but even then, there are some exceptions to that rule.
We now know the name of the 57-year-old man who was shot and killed on the east side on Saturday night. He is Paul Joseph Butler. San Antonio police tell us 20-year-old Michael Montoya now charged in Butler's murder. They say that shooting happened inside a home on Lamar Street, not too far from North Hackberry. According to SAPD, Montoya shot Butler in the head and the neck, then left the scene, then returned to turn himself in. He's charged with murder.
He arrived on a bike he left in the back of a cop car. This after a homeowner caught him breaking into another person's vehicle. San Antonio police called to the 4200 block of Chestnut Hill around 5 this morning. They say after catching the would-be burglar, the homeowner held him till officers arrived. While no one was hurt, that is not something SAPD advises anyone to do.
whether it be a knife or gun, and we don't want them to find out the hard way. If at all possible, try to give us the best descriptions possible in direction of fighting.
Officers say he tried to get away, even ran into a drainage ditch at one point. They then had to take him down, and in the process, he apparently hurt his head.
Now to the war in Ukraine. The U.S. now vowing to send $800 million in military aid to Ukraine. And while it will help fight Russia, it's not the full request of support that Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky was hoping for. ABC's Elizabeth Schulze has details.
As the war in Ukraine enters its third week, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky making a direct appeal to the U.S. to help bring peace to his country.
I'm addressing the President Biden. Being the leader of the world means to be the leader of peace.
In a rare virtual address to Congress, Zelensky pleading for a no-fly zone over Ukraine to prevent Russian air attacks and asking for more military aid and economic sanctions against Moscow. President Biden responding with praise for Zelensky and for the first time saying he thinks Russian President Vladimir Putin has committed war crimes.
I think he is a war criminal.
The president laying out $800 million in new military support to Ukraine, including anti-aircraft systems. It's part of a broader $13 billion aid package Biden signed into law Tuesday. The White House announcing the U.S. is also supplying Ukraine with armed drones. But the president once again rejecting a no-fly zone over Ukraine, making clear this is Ukrainians' war to fight.
We're going to give Ukraine the arms to fight and defend themselves through all the difficult days ahead.
Across Ukraine, scenes of devastation and destruction as Russia ramps up its indiscriminate bombings. Under relentless shelling, Ukrainian forces are displaying resilience. Satellite images show several Russian helicopters destroyed at an airbase in the southern part of the country. The leader of NATO urging a diplomatic solution as a fourth round of peace talks drags on.
The Ukrainians also are saying that they have seen some steps in the right direction is because they have been able to fight back.
U.S. National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan spoke with his Russian counterpart today in the first high-level engagement between the two countries since the war began. Elizabeth Schulze, ABC News, Washington.
Now to gas prices across the country and the growing fight against inflation. Today, the Federal Reserve announcing a rate hike to help combat soaring prices. It all comes as oil dips below $100 a barrel. ABC's Rena Roy has the latest.
For the first time in 3 years, the Federal Reserve hiking interest rates in hopes of slowing down inflation.
We are strongly committed to achieving the monetary policy goals that Congress has given us: maximum employment and price stability. Today, in support of these goals, the FOMC raised its policy interest rate by 1/4 percentage point.
The decision announced after a 2-day meeting with the goal of keeping the U.S. economy running, a delicate dance of raising borrowing costs just enough to slow spending and stabilize prices without causing a recession. So how does this affect the average American? It means paying more money to borrow money. That includes new mortgages, car loans, and credit cards. This comes as people coast to coast dig deeper into their pockets for everything from food and rent to gas prices, which were going up even before the U.S. sanctioned Russia for its invasion of Ukraine. Though gas prices are still high, the rise in cost does seem to be slowing down. The national regular gas average staying the same for 3 days in a row. The price of oil is below $100 a barrel right now, and if it stays that way, we could see gas dip below $4 a gallon within the next few weeks.
The cost of oil has had a ripple effect on the economy. Some airlines like Delta saying they'll be hiking prices on some of their flights because they're paying so much more for fuel. Both Uber and Lyft implementing a new surcharge of up to 55 cents a ride for the rising cost of fuel. That money will go directly to drivers. Rena Roy, ABC News, New York.
Hundreds of vacancies and no one to fill them. We're talking about the statewide teacher shortage.
The Texas Education Agency now creating a task force is going to include more teachers than it did originally to tackle the issue. But what are the reasons why so many school districts are facing shortages?
Jesse DeGoyato hears from retired teachers about the exodus of educators that we've been seeing.
I can't afford the stress at all. that will enhance my medical issues.
Being a teacher now isn't what it used to be. The challenge is now said to be far greater.
Some of them had mental breakdowns, and so they could not go back to the classroom.
The back and forth between in-person and virtual learning with each wave of COVID was difficult for Huron's daughter, a teacher's aide. Harder still for her special needs students. She says not even the teacher shortage was reason enough to come back.
You know, the kids are getting tougher. I think there's less discipline in the home.
After 42 years in both the San Antonio and Northeast Independent School District, Sandra Ojeda Medina says a lack of respect in the classroom is one of the biggest reasons teachers say they've had enough. The San Antonio Independent School District, where many of those retired teachers worked, says it had 34 teacher vacancies in March of 2020 before the pandemic. Now it has 114 vacancies. Before the pandemic, Northeast ISD had 37 teacher vacancies. Now it's up to 80. That despite the fact that retired teachers say the profession pays more than when they started.
I also know that teachers are pretty tough birds. They have to kind of be to be in this business. We are not going to give up on the children.
Did you want to share yours before we go?
God bless them, really. They need all our prayers.
Jesse Degollado, KSAT 12 News.
I want to give you what could be a valuable reminder right now. Today, the deadline for service workers to apply for a year of free childcare. Workforce Solutions Alamo working with the state to extend the program. So far, more than 1,200 families have applied. There are still slots available.
The offer is for anyone who works in the arts and entertainment, recreational, food and accommodation services, and the retail trade. We have a link to apply at KSAT.com. You can also call 210-230-6300 or go to workforcesolutionsAlamo.org.
Check out traffic right now. Let's go to I-35 and O'Connor, where you can see things are moving a little bit slowly out there, and a lot of it has to do with the construction that you see. Again, this is 35 and O'Connor.
And today was another one of those days where we had cool temperatures in the morning, 44 for the low. You needed a light jacket, but then by the afternoon, it's shorts and short sleeves with a high temperature of 82. We're going to see some similar temperature spreads in the days ahead with just some modifications here and there. Temperatures right now mostly well into the 80s. An exception, currently Leon Springs 79, but Floresville 86 degrees. Warren's Backyard in Del Rio almost 90. 80 in Bulverde and Windcrest right now at 83 degrees. As we go through the evening, pretty quiet out there, actually comfortable as well. 8 o'clock 74 degrees, 10 o'clock mid 60s, and then some fog likely to develop that should affect parts of your morning commute tomorrow. We'll talk more about that and even an indication that oak pollen may be spiking soon, along with our next storm chances in just a bit.
Thank you, Adam. Do you have a hazardous home? You might not think so, but there could be hidden dangers that you are not aware of. We're talking dangers from things like everyday appliances. Up next, we'll explain the most common danger spots in your home and how to make them safer.
Hi, I'm Stefania Jimenez joining you live in the KSAT 12 newsroom, and the federal government taking steps now to make daylight saving permanent. But how is this going to affect life as we know it? This is one of the stories that we're working on for you on the news at 6 o'clock. RJ Marquez is going to talk with a local strawberry farmer about how this is going to affect their crops and whether an extra hour of sun is a sweet deal for their future in the farming business. Also, it is a legendary Broadway show that premiered in 1996, but the themes in Rent are hitting pretty close to home now in 2022. So as the pandemic starts to calm, the show is returning to the Majestic. Exciting stuff. And we're going to speak with a cast member with a special San Antonio connection who says the musical is more powerful than ever before. Also this, it's really a dying art. We're talking about skilled trades like welding, plumbing, or carpenting. And we're going to take you to a local contest that proves just how special and important these skills are. We have all that and so much more coming up for you tonight at 6 o'clock.
Thank you so much, Stephanie. All right, home safety. It's more than just locking your doors and windows. There are less obvious dangers that you might not be thinking much about. 1200 Side's Marilyn Moritz with some ways to protect your family from fires, falls, and other hidden hazards.
It's a scary moment walking into the laundry room and finding your dryer on fire. It happened to Jeff Renfro's wife.
My phone rang.
And it was my wife calling from the basement, and she said, come downstairs right now and bring our fire extinguisher. So I ran downstairs, and our dryer was like just billowing smoke out of it.
A common culprit is lint.
It's estimated that about a third of dryer fires are caused by vents clogged by flammable fibers like lint. So it's really important that everyone has their dryer vent cleaned annually.
Consumer Reports identified hidden home dangers in the kitchen. Common injuries are burns and cuts, but some problems are traced to the refrigerator.
Your fridge may not be working properly, and you might not even know about it. And you might not know about it until it's too late and someone in your family is suffering from food poisoning.
Signs of a fridge on the fritz are butter gone soft, or condensation on the fridge, or ice on the freezer walls. Your refrigerator thermometer should be at 37 degrees and your freezer at 0 degrees. Next safety issue, your furniture. With young children around, dressers and bookcases should be anchored to the studs in the wall. And if you can't mount your TV, be sure it's on a stable piece of furniture and anchored to the wall. Marilyn Moritz, KSAT 12 News.
It just scared me.
I know.
Watching those toddlers shake that TV back and forth. All right, it's 83 degrees out there. Another beautiful day in San Antonio.
Yes, it is. Another beautiful day. And, we're enjoying these days of cool mornings, comfortably warm afternoons, and a lack of humidity in the air. We're going to have more of them for sure. I do want to point out we will have some fog developing toward dawn tomorrow, so that should affect your morning commute, then becoming gusty and windy again on Friday. And our next chance of rain, that isn't until Monday, but there is still some promising chances there on Monday. And we'll dive into all those details in one moment. But here's something that's starting to creep up on us. And that's the oak pollen. Okay, I snapped this photo earlier today because as I was walking around the neighborhood, I noticed, okay, several oak trees have shed their leaves and now are starting to get those little catkins starting to bud. So I know the oak pollen count has been low lately, but I anticipate it soon to spike. We'll see that it's typically this time of year, but those catkins are starting to form. They release all that pollen that gives all that yellow coating to everything outside. So now is a good time to cover that outdoor patio furniture, lawn furniture, whatever, if you do that seasonally, because I think in a matter of days or just a week or so that we're going to see a big jump in our oak pollen count. And typically it peaks in late March to early April. So look, today is about right here on this graph. Typically it would be peaking pretty soon within a couple of weeks. So anticipate that. And then of course those catkins all fall and drop off and get all over the place. Anyway, oak pollen or oak count low today. It's low for now, and it may not spike for several more days, but just keep in mind, it's right around the corner. We're starting to see those trees already grow those little catkins. All right, let's talk temperatures. 82 currently, dew point of 34, so still fairly dry air in place and a south wind at 13 miles per hour. For the most part, 80s. There's an exception, though. Cotulla at 91 degrees. Meanwhile, Hondo 85, Kerrville 80 degrees. And you look a little closer, Stinson 89, so almost 90 on the south side, and Rio Medina right now at 84. But let's talk about tomorrow morning. A bit of a chill in the air, not as cool as previous mornings, but lower 50s. Anywhere from 50 in Rio Medina to 53 New Braunfels, Bulverde about 50. And in and around most of San Antonio, 53 degrees to start the day. But by the afternoon, we get back well into the 80s. I mean, we're even talking nearly 90 degrees in Uvalde, Sabinal about 90, Hondo 88, Converse about 83, Helotes 82 degrees. So most of us mid-80s tomorrow. There will be a weak cold front that hits tomorrow night, and it's not going to trigger any showers and storms, unfortunately, but it will drop our temperatures a good 10 degrees as we go into Friday through the upcoming weekend. Then Monday's the day we're watching for the potential for some showers and storms. Let's talk about that right now. A little bit of energy coming over the Rocky Mountains. That's why I see this precipitation there, a little dip in the upper level flow. That's going to move into Texas, but not our part of Texas tomorrow. So a little too far north for us to tap into any precipitation from that disturbance. Our next disturbance is currently over Alaska, and we're anticipating it to get here, or at least get close to us, by Monday. And right now, indications are and trends are this upper disturbance, that dip in the flow, should get far enough south into Mexico that it should provide some decent energy to kickstart some showers and thunderstorms by Monday. Right now we got it at a 40% chance. But tomorrow, other than some morning fog, no rain, just that nuisance, reduced visibility. Mid-80s by the afternoon and sunny. A lot of sunshine through the weekend. And then on Monday, what we're watching too is the possibility for maybe some severe storms. But of course, a lot of time between now and then. Check back as we will be updating that forecast.
It's time for a little nasty weather.
Yeah, and maybe some play. Let's go live to the AT&T Center. Greg Simmons joined us. We're talking about the Spurs, Greg.
Yeah, and speaking of nasty, two of the newest Spurs bring what Pop likes to see in some of these games tonight. They're going to need a little more nasty to take on OKC. We'll have a live preview when we come back. And the uncertainty that has befallen over Cleveland now that the Browns are talking to Deshaun Watson coming up. Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome live to the AT&T Center, where tonight the Spurs play host to the Oklahoma City Thunder, the first of two games here to wrap up this 7-game homestand. Now, these next two games, tonight, of course, against the Thunder, and again on Friday against the Pelicans, should be considered must-wins. When you take into account the Spurs are still 2 games back of New Orleans, who holds the 10th and final play-in position, with just 13 games left in the regular season. One thing two of the newest members of the Spurs bring to the Silver and Black, Zach Collins and Josh Richardson, is what Pop likes to call a little nasty.
You have to have it. You know, I think it just helps. Again, it rubs off on everybody. If you come in with a little bit of nasty, or you maybe the shots aren't falling, you know, stuff isn't going your way. But if you have that tenacity, I think it could always shift back to you at some point.
Yeah, just play with the edge. You know, every time I'm out there, I'm always talking. I'm always, you know, I'm not afraid to talk to other teams. I'm not afraid to, you know, get in there if things get dicey. You know, Zach got into a little argument the other day. I'm usually the first guy there. And I think, you know, the biggest thing he means by that is just playing with force, playing with the edge, you know, getting up in guys on defense. And I think that, you know, that's something that a lot of our guys, you know, could get better. I think it could help a lot of our games.
And here is the matchup tonight. This is a must-win situation for the Spurs. 7:30 tip. Highlights for it tonight on the Night Beat. Texas A&M Corpus Christi had their shot at the NCAA tournament, playing in the first 4 of March Madness last night when they went up against Texas Southern. Texas A&M Corpus Christi was able to jump out to the early 8-point lead, and in the first half, thanks in part to Travian Tennyson, who led the Islanders with 18 points and even had the lead by 4 in the second half before Texas Southern went on a 7-0 run to take the lead and never looked back, led by Bryson Etienne, who scored 21 in the 76-67 victory. Next up for the Tigers, top seeded Kansas in the first round of the Midwest Regional. Yes, that was former Spur Avery Johnson helping broadcast that game.
Pro football coverage, powered by Davis Law Firm.
The Cleveland Browns' pursuit of Deshaun Watson has put the future Baker Mayfield in Cleveland very much in question, increasing the speculation that Mayfield may be moving on. Came on a message on Twitter thanking the city of Cleveland and its fans who truly embrace who I am, admitting on social media with many uncertainties here is where my head and heart is. That message sent on the same day the Cleveland front office flew to Houston to meet with Watson. Live from the AT&T Center, Greg Simmons, KSAT 12 Sports.
A lot of moving parts out there when it comes to NFL free agency, Greg.
Just starting, you're right.
Yeah.
We'll be right back. We want to thank you for watching the News at 5 with us.
World News is up next. We'll see you back here at 6.